Hello everybody, we are the Geeks and the Giants. I am Manzo. This is my forever co-host John, and today we continue our Star Wars lineup with Attack of the Clones, Episode 2 of the prequel trilogy. So everybody already got Phantom Menace with the Phantom Menace, so they were like, maybe this one will be nice. Maybe this one will hit the Star Wars spot. Fortunately not. Not for the older crowd.
No.
Depends who you talk to.
I guess. Well, I mean, I enjoyed it when I first saw it, but then, like, yeah, as you get older, the pacing and sometimes the odd dialogue gets to you. And I want to like it, you know, because I still have like that childhood feeling of like, oh, this is still great, you know, exactly how I remembered it.
Yeah.
It ain't it. Like after going through Clone Wars, and like like Star Wars is getting better in some areas, but holy shit, this was a rough patch.
Yeah, like we didn't have good shit like Mando or the latest season of Andor. Where by the time we're filming this, the next 3 episodes should be out. So I can't wait. I already seen the first 3.
Already started.
Yeah, it's pretty good. Anyway, but yeah, during this rough patch, we finally get introduced to adult Anakin Skywalker, played by Hayden Christensen, who beat out Paul Walker, Christian Bale, and Leonardo DiCaprio to be the young Jedi turned Sith Lord. So yeah,
Man, just imagine if it was Paul Walker. Damn.
right?
But I do like Hayden though.
Yeah,
Hayden is like the face of Anakin for me, so
yeah,
it's fine.
forever will be. And like this movie has 2 plot lines after the assassination attempt on Padme. One being Obi-Wan Kenobi trying to investigate what this whole Sifo Dyas clones thing is all about. The other path being Anakin guarding Padme in Naboo and talking about how he's in like sand and all that shit, and him slowly getting closer to his destiny of being Darth Vader.
Do you know, you gotta love how convoluted George Lucas was. I gotta love it that when he was writing this movie, he was just like, watch this. And he was just like, you know, we're gonna get Palpatine to get, you know, like to kill Padme. I was like, how are we gonna do that? So he's gonna hire Count Dooku to kill Padme. And how's Count Dooku gonna do that? Well, he's gonna hire
Jango Fett.
Or Jango Fett to kill Padme. How's Jango Fett gonna do that? He's gonna hire a shape-shifting bounty hunter to kill Padme.
How are you gonna do that? They're gonna use space centipedes.
They're gonna... So I was like, so is this one reward just gonna be split amongst the 4 of you? Or
Right?
do we include the bug?
Right? I don't know why Jango Fett couldn't fire a rocket into the window of Padme and be done with this.
Right? Or just like, hey, you know, send a bot over, like a gonk droid just with a bomb inside and just, you know?
Yeah, they literally do anything else and not this convoluted shite. But yeah, Obi-Wan Kenobi discovers that the dart used to kill the shapeshifter is from Kamino, and apparently the Jedi have business on Kamino, but nobody knows where Kamino is. Even Yoda's like, shady that is. It's not in the system, but the stars being pulled, like a planet was there. It's like someone erased this. They have. You're like, huh, that is shady. The more you think about it, and you're like, how long has Master Sifo Dyas been gone? 10 years? 10 years and you didn't realize you're missing a planet.
You know, like Yoda wasn't like, there's a disturbance. One of us is missing. You know, like,
Yeah,
good on you, Yoda, for being so in tune.
yeah.
Oh my god, yeah, we're hating on this now.
When the Caminos are like, yeah, Master Sifo Dyas told us to make this clone army, Obi-Wan's like, Master Sifo Dyas died 10 years ago, and you're like, before he says that, you look at the council, you're like, who the fuck is Master? Oh, he's dead. Oh, okay. So who are the who?
They're like, just don't look at the Jedi.
Yeah, right? And like, it's only on the Clone Wars that you finally get a better scope of who Master Sifo Dyas is and what his motivations were, thanks to Dave Filoni and his excellent writing. But because of this convolutedness, you're like, should I care about these clones? Should I care about Master Sifo Dyas? Should I be intrigued by Master Sifo Dyas? Like, the answer is neither, because you quickly bury this plot, and you're like, oh, the clones look cool. It's amazing how 2002 CGI still holds up better than any other CGI right now. You also get the first appearance of Tamara Morrison, who is Jango Fett slash Boba Fett. Boba Fett in the future, Jango Fett right now, but he is for lack of a better term, he is the daddy of all these clones because they're all modeled after him. And like,
yeah, he's the base template for all the clones, and yeah, oddly enough, he was just like, hey, can y'all like make me a son?
Right?
Yeah, exact same copy of me, but just ages slower compared to the other clones. And I was just like, you really couldn't just, yeah. Maybe there's some space, problems going through his boy noise, but I don't know. I don't know why he had to. Sorry.
Oh, hello? You lagged in my end. Again, it's a me problem. So yeah, don't blame me.
Anyway, you PC fool. Wait, what did I say?
Problems. No loyal host in the galaxy far, far away.
That could be a problem.
Like, yeah, definitely could be. You also find out how impervious Obi-Wan Kenobi is to bounty hunter like rockets and flamethrowers. Because Obi-Wan gets hit by the spaceship and Jango Fett, and you're like, he's not bleeding, he's not on fire, he's not bruised at least. Damn, Obi-Wan, you have thick skin.
That's why when we kind of see him in like the Obi-Wan show just getting the shit beaten out of him, I'm like, what happened?
Right? Going to Naboo with Anakin and Padme, like we all seen the memes of I don't like sand, Padme like pressing the panic button every time Anakin says something weird. You're like, what's up with this? Watching it now, I'm like, can you stop talking, Anakin? Just shh. Stop.
Hush, the grown-ups are talking. Like, but you also gotta love how her attempts of like, look, okay, I completely understand that anybody and can just wear whatever they want, more power to you. If you feel confident in what you wear, great, all good. But this does not help. Her just being like, you can't fall in love with me, and pulls up with the sexiest of outfits. I'm just like, well, you're making it pretty hard.
You're just like, damn, the people of Naboo are here for a fun time, not a long time, apparently.
I guess
yeah.
This bodyguard's pretty distracted.
Yeah, exactly. I also love the logic that Padme has the highest bounty on her, and they're not like, it's okay, the lone Jedi can take care of it, he can lone samurai it. You're like, are you sure about that?
I don't know.
What if you hired a Mandalorian assassin? What the fuck are you gonna do?
That's a little bit of a flaw in well, there's a lot of flaws with George Lucas's writing.
Yeah, apparently
like
so.
Exhibit A, the bounty hunter who hires a bounty hunter who hires a bounty hunter.
Yeah. Set Lord to bounty hunter to bounty hunter to centipede. You're like, are you sure Count Dooku? You know what? If I was George Lucas, I'd be like, you know what? Count Dooku reveals himself and just blasts Padme with lightning. How about that?
She won't remember.
Exactly. Anyway, but yeah, Anakin has dreams of his mom dying, so they go to Tatooine to stop it from happening the best way they can. Because Anakin is very impulsive. Like, he's a very not the best student that any master could want for. You're like, I wonder what the in between episode 1 and 2 is like. How many times Obi-Wan can be like, can you shut up, you little shit, I'm tired of you.
But yeah, so he does his business and comes back to Padme, and then Anakin's just like I killed them, not just the men,
the women, children too.
So I was like, oh, like a mini genocide. Alright. Oh, he's such a tortured soul. It makes him so hot.
You're right.
I was like, girl, call the Jedi Council.
Right, like your boy just massacred an entire village of sand people. I know we don't like sand people too, but Jesus, there are other ways of dealing with them. And
so I'm sleeping with him tonight. Don't bother us. Click.
You know what makes it worse is like watching the Book of Boba Fett. Like, if anything, you learn that the sand people are much more, like, a more complex people than
they're not just savages.
Yeah.
Which I felt so bad for after watching the Book of Boba Fett.
Yeah, I mean, It's like, in terms of execution, this shows Anakin going like further into the dark side, like almost to the point of no return, because he already is restricted by the Jedi Council. Like, they can't bang for some reason, and you're like, as an old Star Wars fan, you're like, but I thought Luke banged Mara Jade in the sequels. What happened there? And then Disney's like, non-canon. You're like, that's not the point I'm trying to make, but sure, you fucking inconsistent fucks. But yeah, he's being held back by the Jedi Council and Obi-Wan Kenobi, and like, he feels restricted, wants to prove himself. Like, he feels like he has more potential, but the only one who really believes in him is Palpatine, who's scheming his way. Like, I wanna like years in the future, I wanna ask like the older generation of like, were you confused when they recast Ian McDiarmid as Chancellor Palpatine? Because the Emperor never had a last name back then, so they weren't like, oh shit, it's him. They were just like, who's this, the old guy? Huh?
Yeah, but to them, they already know. They were like,
yeah, exactly. Like, Palpatine is scheming. I do like some of the political commentary when like absolute power corrupts absolutely, and like when you meet Jar Jar Binks again, he's just like a senator, and we know from real life that some of the most underqualified people can be senators and politicians. You're like, oh yeah, art imitates life and life imitates art. Cool, thanks George.
I mean, just imagine how Anakin felt when he saw Jar Jar Binks become part of the Senate, and he's still not part of the Jedi Council.
It's like, that's why he has his tantrum in the other episode. He's like, are you fucking kidding me, guys?
But yeah, like,
did you like the conveyor belt action scene? That like, I was trying to follow. I was like, what's the point of this?
Yeah, like, no, I did not. A lot of the, besides like the fight scenes and like the fight in Geonosis, I didn't like any other fight scene.
Yeah.
You know, like, and I even gotta say, even though it is in Geonosis, the fight between Mace Windu and Jango Fett was lackluster as well.
Yeah, I do love the scene that proves why Anakin turned to the dark side, when he tells Obi-Wan, Obi-Wan's like, what are you doing here? He's like, we're trying to rescue you, and he's just like, good job. And you're like,
Good job.
see, Obi-Wan, this is why.
Man, I'm trying.
Before that, Anakin does confess his love to Padme, and like another scene of stilted dialogue where like, yeah, that could be delivered better, and not this fucking wood on wood acting
match. But I do love this scene though. One thing that George Lucas is actually good at is world building.
Yeah.
To a point.
Yeah.
I love how he did like the world building here. Is that, oh yeah, in Geonosis there's still like a gladiator thing going on.
Yeah.
You see this white tiger thing with spider eyes. It's very uncomfortable with that. Saw this praying mantis thing and this like rhinoceros.
Yeah.
I wanted these as toys.
Yeah.
I remember they were toys at one point, but like, yeah, I never got around to getting those because I didn't have the cash. But this was a really cool fight scene, and then just to save, well, okay, I can't understand 2 Jedi and Padme Amidala, so they sent an entire fucking army
of Jedi. I do love
of
seeing
Jedi and clones.
Yeah, I do love seeing the the Jedi throw down at first, because it's the first time you see a massive army of Jedi. Like, outside of the old Republic trailers, you're like, I've never seen so much Jedi and live action throw down.
Place,
yeah,
right?
and then sick when the clones come down, because like Yoda's commanding them, like this like small CGI guy is just commanding the biggest army of clones. You're like,
just imagine that. Or, like, I've never seen Yoda in a cooler position than now,
yeah,
where he's not hanging off, but like he's like standing at the edge of a cruiser, commanding clones, and like it just like comes in, you just see him like stand, and I'm like, fuck yeah,
yeah.
You know?
You're like, let's fucking go. It's one of the few times in the Attack of the Clones where you feel like excitement. Like the rest of this fucking, honestly, slogfest. You're like, what's the point of Master Sifo-Dyas? What's the point of Anakin killing the Sand People? Like, I get the point, but like, Sifo-Dyas, there's not really much there's a build up, but there's no payoff. So you're like, where are we going? I have to wait for the Clone Wars.
Dead body, like inside of a cupboard. Just like, oh, he's been there for 10 years.
Yeah.
You know.
Like the Camino people didn't like bury him in the shallow graves. Or like, you have to learn about this in the Clone Wars, which sucks. And it's like 4 seasons deep when you finally learn the truth. You're like, fuck. How cool. I love having to watch stuff that's not connected to the movie to get it. Finally, thank you, George. I appreciate that. But yeah, like they chase the droid army until it surrenders, and they chase Count Dooku. And like Padme falls out of the ship, and like you see how far she falls. You're like, well, in Obi-Wan's defense, it's not that far. Anakin, you're just being a pussy, you know. She's fine.
Like, calm down.
Right?
Your boner is showing.
And then we get a cool first fight with like Obi-Wan and Count Dooku, and then becomes this fucking EDM disco match between Anakin and Count Dooku.
Yeah, I don't know what was happening, but like I do love this fight.
Yeah.
Because you do see Christopher Lee show off a little bit of his fencing skills.
Yeah.
Clearly, he didn't have like the pole because he was holding it like, you know, with one hand. But other than that, I say everybody did great, minus like, you know, that part.
Yeah.
And yeah, and it was kind of crazy when you see Anakin just lose his entire arm. I'm like, whoa!
Right?
Is that okay?
Is the dude good? Like people for the first time see Yoda fight. Like it's pretty cool seeing this little guy just twirl around and jump around like some guy hopped up on whatever drugs the guy was on. You're like, all right, I dig this.
Yeah.
Count Dooku escapes, and we set up for the Clone Wars, where I do love the fact that Count Dooku did tell Obi-Wan of like the whole secret conspiracy of Darth Sidious controlling the Council and the Jedi's powers not being able to sense the fact that Sidious is literally right under their nose. Like Count Dooku escapes, and you think he's gonna go to some backwater planet, and it turns out to be Coruscant. You're like, oh shit, fuck.
Wait a minute. Yeah.
Yeah, and like the cap, like as a kid, I was like, the city of politicians is corrupt. How can that be? And like you experience real life.
No way.
Experience real life. We're like, you know what? I'm not surprised. Sure. It's good setup for what George Lucas is getting to set up in the future. But thankfully, the payoff, which is Revenge of the Sith, is pretty good in my opinion. But getting through the schlock that is Attack of the Clones, I'm like, did we really have to do this, George? This time in hands.
Like, my dude, like, thank you for giving us the Geonosis scene. That shit was sick. But, like, everything else was just like you could have just handed the pen and paper to somebody else, you know?
Yeah, like, you let people write and direct, other people write and direct for you before. Why can't you do this for the prequels? I'm begging you, George. I mean, if there was a way to go back in time, I'd be like, I'm George. I don't think that's a good idea. Can you rewrite that, please?
We've told you to get out of his room.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah.
He's George and Lucas.
Yeah, too much power right there. That's why nobody said anything when he was making the prequels. Because he's like, I made the original trilogy. What did you do? Oh, okay. Sorry, George.
Got you.
Forgive me for this blasphemy. Yeah.
I'm backed by the guy who made Jurassic Park. Leave me alone.
Exactly. But yeah, what would you rate Attack of the Clones?
Oh lordy, I feel bad for saying this, but it's 5 out of 10 for me. Like, the CGI got way fucking better compared to like the Phantom Menace, but it's just like you really did have to go through a lot just to get to the good parts.
Yeah.
And this is not like a great like introduction to a Star Wars fan. Even though I know, like, hey, from here all the way to Clone Wars is just an amazing ride.
Yeah.
You know? After this movie, yeah, you go into Clone Wars all the way to season 7, and then you watch episode 3, and it's just like, fuck yeah.
Yeah.
But we didn't have that back then. You know? So, but yeah, it's a 5 out of 10 for me. Choreography's not bad. It's disorienting, but it's not bad. clones were great and probably one of my favorite parts about Star Wars.
Yeah.
But yeah, the romantic side, the whole relationship that Padme and Anakin has, sad to say, is not believable until you get Clone Wars, where you're like, okay, yeah, I feel like they love each other.
Exactly.
You know? Yeah, and like the convoluted, like, again, I still can't get over the whole, like Count Dooku hiring a bounty hunter to hire a bounty hunter.
To hire centipedes.
To hire like a centipede to do their own job. So I'm like, okay, that's odd.
Yeah. Yeah, I'll give this a 4. Like, it was really a slog to get through this. I was like trying to stay awake. I was like, I've seen this enough times. Maybe I could fast forward it. And then I forgot what happened. I was like, you know what? I had to go back. Shit. Good CGI, good action until like you get the EDM concert with Anakin and Count Dooku, and you're like, oh, that could be better. But like, yeah, the clones are cool. Like the gladiator scene is pretty cool. But like everything else, I could live without. Like the build up with no payoff with Sifo Dyas. I'm like, really, man? I'm like Anakin and Padme acting like it's neither Natalie Portman's fault or Hayden Christensen's fault. It's just writing that makes them act like wood against wood, being like, I hate sand. It gets rough. It gets everywhere. You're like, what? Sure. And Padme being like, oh, honey, I know you slaughtered a bunch of men, women, and children, but it's okay. Like, I don't have to call this emergency hotline to Miss Windu, right? Nah, I'm good.
Yeah, don't give him the Jedi, like a seat in the Jedi Council, please.
Please. God knows what will happen. I might give it a higher 4 just because this movie also has the best sound effect with the sonic boom from Jango Fett's ship. Because that shit is pretty sick, not gonna lie. The way they designed it, like, if I had to score that design alone, that'd be a fucking 10 out of 10, you know?
Agreed.
Other than that, wouldn't, in terms of it being a required movie, I would say, be like, yeah, you should watch Attack of the Clones. But if you didn't want to, I'd be like, yeah, I can watch Clone Wars and you'll be filled in.
Yeah, you could just watch ahead. It's fine.
Yeah. They reference what happens in Attack of the Clones anyway, and they finally pay off what happens to Master Sifo Dyas. So I'm like, you're good. Just skip it.
You know, I feel like they could just watch a recap.
Exactly.
Like a 20-minute recap on Attack of the Clones, and be like, okay, you're prepared. Go into Clone Wars. It's fine. You don't need to watch the first Clone Wars movie, by the way.
Yeah, it's from Attack of the Clones, and then Clone Wars movie, and then it becomes like this. You're like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
That's how the timeline works.
I heard the Clone Wars movie is not canon.
It's not?
Yeah.
That's odd because, yeah, Jabba the Hutt's son is there, and he's in the new Mandalorian movie. But who am I to say what's canon and what's not canon? Anyway, to the audience watching,
Correct me if I'm wrong.
yeah, correct us if we're wrong. But to the audience watching, who's your favorite Clone Wars character from either season, or what's your favorite Clone Wars season? Mine is 7 and the ones when Maul comes back, because that's pretty sick. Captain Rex is my favorite character there, by the way.
4 all the way to 7 was pretty good, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Like, there's some cool parts in like season 1 to 3, but 4 onwards,
Yeah,
that's when like you start getting into the meat of like the story.
yeah,
Yeah, that was great, and yeah, and that's where it also introduced me to my favorite like character in Clone Wars. One of that is Plo Koon.
yeah. But yeah, Plo Koon, Maul, Captain Rex, Ahsoka, definitely Ahsoka. The Clone Wars gave us Ahsoka, who was one of the best characters ever. But yeah, the Clone Wars is a very well loved addition to the Star Wars story. Attack of the Clones, it's like 50-50. But yeah, that's been our video for Attack of the Clones. What do you guys think? If you'd like to see more of us here on YouTube, please leave a like, subscribe, and ding the bell icon to get notified of when we upload next Heroes. If you like what you see here, please leave a like, subscribe, and ding the bell icon to get...
Oh, we're already
What did I stop for you?
far back. Okay, anyway, go on.
If you like what you see here, please leave a like, subscribe, And ding the bell icon to get notified of when we upload next. We're also on Spotify and TikTok. TikTok to see your best and funniest moments. Spotify to yours on the go. And the video ends with one letterbox and Zoda's voices on TikTok. Where can they find you?
You can find me at JomJoM_ on Instagram. It is my account.
Until the next time, we'll see you then. Bye, everybody.
Ciao.